on the internet, and the poem is me as a white person talking to black people, like asking questions like, why do black people do this? And I posted the poem on the internet maybe a couple days ago from somebody that I know from Delaware State University. And this guy sent me this email back, and he liked it, but he wasn't. She was an Irishman, and he said he was like the palest Irishman, but he was saying he didn't know what to make of it because he said that he had those feelings, and at the same time he didn't, and he felt kind of weird because he's never had an African American, put things in that perspective. So to give you an idea, the poem isn't something meant to be controversial, but at the same time it is. I think, it's talking about self-discovery. If you don't ask yourself questions, then how do you think other people are going to think of you? If you aren't asking yourself, what are you doing before you walk out the door, then maybe, what are the other people thinking? So this is no comment. Why do they kill each other? Why do they steal from one another? Why do they disrespect their mothers? They have the same capabilities as us. So why do they look at success with such disgust? Why do they put down their own when they succeed? Why do they have more babies than they can feed? Why hasn't one of them been president? Why don't they see what I see? That they're just as good, if not better than me. Why walk down the long, desolate road of slavery and make it to the other side if all you're going to do was run and hide? Hide from the one thing that defines you, your own determination and the will to do what you want to do. Why forget where you come from? Why put down a book and pick up a gun? Why is standing on a block so much fun? Why are only a handful of them using their music the way it was truly meant to be used? To enlighten and heighten the mind instead of leaving it confused. Why were two of their greatest artists taken before their time? Why is another Tupac so hard to find? Why don't they understand that we can only move forward unless we move together? Why don't they want to make their lives just a little bit better? So why? I have, actually, none of you guys are back me, but I printed out, actually, my dad. Passing that forward.
White phone.
Because I've stopped writing for a while. I started writing screenplays and novels, but this has been one of the most recent poems I wrote. It's called, and I posted this on the internet too, it's called It's Just a Story. And when you read a lot of the things that I write, The City Limits and a couple of other things, I enjoy taking myself out of my shoes and pretending to be somebody else. I wrote a poem from a woman being domestically abused by her husband. I wrote a poem as which I'll probably read later, a fetus, a baby, an unborn child in her mom's stomach. The mother's about to abort the kid, and the kid's talking to the mom, but the mom can't listen. So I enjoy writing poems from other people's perspective and then post them on the internet and try and get the perspective from people to see how close I've gotten to, that actual person, whether or not, I've taken myself efficiently out of my shoes and then putting them into somebody else and try and, create that whole world. So It's Just a Story is something, it's a little bit complex, but not really. It's a poem that I wrote as my son, talking about myself, about the person I could be if I let success, cloud my mind, and the person that I was raised to be, to think about family and family being important and everything like that, but, success could cloud your mind. So I wanted to write about, because in the black community, fathers, or in community period, fathers are real important. So I figured I'd write about my son talking about me. I knew a man once who dared dream of things that seemed impossible. I knew a man once who set goals that some seemed improbable. I knew a man once whose heart seemed unbreakable. I knew a man once whose swagger seemed unmistakable. Armed with nothing more than the confidence in himself, this man set out to succeed where others said he would not. Stayed away from the prisons where some said he would rot. This man wanted nothing more than to make something of himself. Basically, he wanted to achieve a certain status that brought him nothing but wealth. In his mind, coming from nothing and achieving this meant everything in the world. He had money, he had power, and respect. Plus, he was hooking up with tons of girls. None of them meant anything until he met her. So beautiful. She was draped in the best diamonds and furs. He courted her for 1 year until they got married. Left her alone for 9 months with the baby she carried. But don't misunderstand. He loved her very much, but there was someone else he was obsessed with. Himself, his career, and everything else in between. I guess having a successful career and a family is nothing more than a dream. His career was finished, and his family was over. It took 15 long years for him to ever get sober. But by then, it was too late. And only God had the answer. I stood there holding his hand while he died of cancer. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I say this not to make you fear fame and glory. It's only that man was my father. Remember, it's just a story.
Mm.